everyone, it's RuPaul's Drag Race Season 13, Episode 10. Can you believe that? A lot of seasons only had 10 episodes. Episode 10, Freaky Friday Queens. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't have anything contentious or controversial in this recap because I think, based on what I saw on Twitter, most people kind of agree with what I'm going to say. Anyway, they all come in, they're all joking around. I have to say, because I have some harsher things to say later on, I think Candy looks great. She's got great legs. Yeah. Anyway, they start with a mini challenge that's talking to a psychic, which was very uppy-downy. Like, one was like, oh, Rosé and Denali, are you guys friends? Yeah. Maybe more than friends. Maybe, you know, not more than friends. Crushes. A little puppy crush, maybe. But I think, I know for a fact Rosé has a boyfriend. I think they both might. Anyway, then it's like, who here has a father who died without making amends? Oh, they want to make amends. Who here has a cow that wants to say hi? So it was a very odd challenge, and then they were placed by the psychic. We know that it was production, and it's fine. I mean, I wish they would just say, you know, we've arranged you. Anyway, we have Tina and Rosé, Utica and Simone, Denali and Olivia, and Candy and Got Mick. And they're going to do the very typical makeover challenge, but because of the bubble, they are doing it with people who are already present. They made it really clear, you know, it's kind of like, it's a weird thing to watch someone walk down the runway and think they look good, but really it's their partner and vice versa. Anyway, Lonnie Love is the challenge, the guest judge. I actually don't have a lot to say about the actual challenge. As stated later on, Got Mick and Candy had the biggest challenge when it came to clothing size. It looked like they were the only ones. I didn't really notice everyone else's, so I really can't say, but they all had pretty big. I thought Simone and Utica would be a real trouble because their style is so different. But it was really fun to see everyone. I just have to say I enjoyed everyone's interactions. It was really cool to have, they all came to it with a really positive attitude. They came to it with like a, tell me what you do, show me what you do. This is what I see you doing in general. There was there's a little bit of shade, but that's kind of standard. But I enjoyed the challenge itself, watching it. I thought they all did a pretty darn good job. I mean, we're getting down, I say we're getting down to, but we've only lost, coming into this episode, we only lost 5 queens. So you can't really say we're getting down to only the best, but everyone is really good. And so we are really being nitpicky. But I have 2 points to make. And this comes from someone who has watched reality TV forever, and competitive reality TV is really my jam. And I've watched, if you can film it and give a prize and stuff, and I don't watch Survivor, it's just not my thing, but like baking, cooking, fashion design, Drag Race, all of those I have strong opinions on. And I have 2 opinions in this episode that are a really big deal. Is one, judging based on the pair, like you're gonna win or lose together. Never been a fan of it, and that always comes up in reality shows. They do it a ton in Project Runway. It was very contentious because it's almost guaranteeing that someone that doesn't deserve to is going to end up in the bottom and likely possibly be eliminated. So I was not a fan of that at all. And honestly, I can't remember what the second point I was going to make. I'm sure I'm going to make it anyway. I just will forget that it was my second point. But I had a real problem with that. Oh, also, I do remember what it was. We all know the question of who do you think should go home is coming. And they have to say someone. And we know on certain shows, and I can't remember which one it is. I think it was Top Chef. It's expected that you say yourself if you're the team. Or maybe that's also Project Runway. Been a while since I've recapped either of those shows, but it's expected that you say yourself. Otherwise, I think it's if you're the team captain. This is not a team captain situation, but we all know it's coming. And so for Candy to be like super crazy offended that one person said her, it's like, I don't really want to hear it. We all know it's coming. They all have to say someone. They can't say themselves. That's only happened on Drag Race. There's some shows where you can get away with it and everyone can say themselves and you cop out of the question and the judges are fine with it. And then other shows you can't. And they're like, fine, you think you're going home, then go home. Go home. So I always have a problem. It happens every season. But come on, it's 13 seasons in. We know it's going to happen. And people are going to say stuff. And the whole like, I'm so sorry. First of all, Denali was being very nice. But she doesn't need to apologize. Unless you get up there and say, she's trash, she's terrible, she shouldn't have even been cast in the show. Like, that's over the line. You don't need to do that. But as long as you're respectful about it and be like, you know, based on this challenge or based on the season so far or whatever, and you're somewhat polite about it, I don't think anyone should be held accountable for who they say. Occasionally someone's like, oh, the person who's safe, they should definitely go home. It's like, okay, at least play the game that you're being asked, which is, if you're on the stage, don't start naming people, which is, you know, a problem that they sometimes had. I think Britta did that last season. But anyway, so those are my two sort of general observations. I hate when they say we're going to pair you up, because me, like almost everybody else who watched this episode and commented on Twitter, felt that Olivia should have been in the bottom for her makeover of Denali, and Tina Burner should have been in the bottom for her makeover of Rose. And that would have made the most sense. I have no problem with Utica and Simone both winning, because both of them did the other person's drag really well, and each of them portrayed the other person's drag. So it was not only the outfit that was put on them, but their performance. And so I thought it was super crazy strong. So I'm fine with them having a double win. The win makes sense to me, especially when the illusion is the fact that the performance and the outfit and the makeup, while I felt that Denali did a good job trying to emulate Olivia. So anyway, I'm getting the flashing battery low sign, so I'm going to hurry up. I didn't like Candy snapping off at the judges for no reason. And I really didn't like that the judges like made such a huge exception for her when they would have ate any other girl alive. They would have been like, you know, we're trying to help. This is part of the performance. You know, you don't need to attack everybody else. And so I kind of did feel like they have a separate set of rules for Candy when it comes to that. And I don't think that's fair to the other girls, but whatever. Not at the end of the... Simone and Utica win. Denali goes home. I felt like in Untucked, we saw more of Denali in Untucked than we do normally of the eliminated girls. I could be wrong in that. But I thought Denali handled this so professionally, wasn't striking out at anyone else, was definitely really sad and upset, but wasn't like, this is so unfair, I hate you, you know, Olivia. It's not Olivia's fault that they decided to judge based on couples. So I don't hold, some people were really, said some really nasty stuff about Olivia. It's not her fault. She didn't make up the rules. She didn't pay someone off to have Dahlia go home. Did Olivia win the lip sync? I guess. I'm not very good at judging lip syncs unless you completely bomb or you're like the best I've ever seen. I just don't have a great eye for it. So they say Olivia won. Okay, that's fair enough. But it was a real bummer to me. But I think Denali will do well because just handled it so professionally and just kind of a joy, and kind of in my idea kind of got like a Trixie edit, which is like we loved her so much more than RuPaul seemed to, and that seems to always work long term for a career. So there you go. So that's my opinions on it. I will see you in the comments. Bye.